Hi everyone and happy Friday. Boy, it has been a long week. I was really hoping I could get ahead on the video plans for the weekend and next week, but that hasn't happened, so we're just going to play this by ear. Tonight I have another set of flip-throughs for you. I have the 3 Sachin Sachdeva books I mentioned earlier in the week, plus 2 pre-orders I had that were released and came in. So I'm going to show you those first, and then I'm going to show you the Sachin Sachdeva books. Keep in mind all 3, and I'll try to list both the color by number and non-color by number versions, but each of the books I show you does have a non-color by number version. I just get the color by number because it's a lot. I do a lot of, I try to do creative coloring, and I try to do a lot of mindless type of coloring, and sometimes the color by number is just easier. Okay, so we're going to start with the smaller one. As you can see, it is smaller than your standard coloring book, so keep that in mind when you order it. I had forgotten that the Jim Shore books come like this, even though I haven't had one before. I've seen them, and then I ordered it and just didn't realize it. It's not a big deal to me, but just keep that in mind if you order it. This is Fairies, Gnomes, and Dragons. It is a new release from Jim Shore. Spiral bound at the top, and then you've got the back one as well. So like I said, this is my first Jim Shore book. He talks a little bit like his workspace and his art. I think he does a lot of figurine work too. My work combines elements from different folk art traditions. I use quilting designs and quilt blocks as a foundation. I also draw on images from rose malling, fracture, and designs based on what we now call Pennsylvania Dutch. I find that mixture of different elements exciting. I call that out because, like I said, it does create a very interesting picture. So here are some inspirational finished versions of the pictures. So like you have the fantasy element, but then you've got kind of like that quilting pattern back behind it, which I think's... At first I was like not sure about that, but now that I see the finished pictures, I get it. Like, he's right. That is pretty cool. And it's definitely different, so I like that they provide examples to kind of show you. Because like I said, originally when I looked through this, I was like, man, I just don't know about these backgrounds. But now, in understanding how his art is and looking at some of the completed versions of these, I like it. So each page has the image. They're all single-sided, so you can use markers. But on the back, it does talk about what it is and gives a little bit of a description to it. So I think that's kind of neat. I'm not going to show you that part, but I am going to show you the images because we'll be here all day if I try to do that. Well, he's got that poinsettia. Almost, you can make him Christmas if you want to. I love that little squirrel. Like, he's going to beat you with that mushroom. He looks like he's got some violent tendencies. Frosty squirrel. I like that. Sometimes I wish there were actual fairies to help when I'm trying to put a needle, put a thread through a needle. Wish there were sewing fairies. This is very cute, though. It is, you know, not a super, and these are perforated, so you can easily detach these from the book. I like that. These aren't super detailed, and the smaller picture does make it a little bit of a less daunting color. That's cute. And y'all know I love that one. And of course, that one. Gosh, I probably would buy a bunch of these as figurines. I like that one with the little grandma mask. A lot of winter and Christmas themed images in here, which is good for the holidays. And there we are. So there's this piece of cardboard in the back to, I guess, thicken, you know, reinforce the backing. I almost wish, like, you could, I almost wish there was, like, a blotter page or something in here. Because otherwise, the cardstock I use, I'm probably going to cut it to a size to fit this, because it'll be awkward to try to fit a full sheet. But very cute. I am glad I got this one. Like I said, it's the first book of his that I have. I might get some more of his books in the future, but for now, because I love the fairy, like the fantasy elements of this one, I think I'm going to just hold on to this one for now. Again, hard to actually see it, but I am trying to be more strategic in the books that I'm buying. Another new release. So this had released on Dover's site earlier this month because I saw Tammy had flipped through it, and for some reason it was delayed on Amazon to the middle of the month. I'm not sure why, but I decided to just wait for the Amazon order to go through. This is Charming Wintertime Scenes, color by number by George Toufexis. I haven't been coloring a lot in my George Toufexis books lately. I've noticed that, but a lot of it's just been due to time constraints because I've been trying to color in my other books, and it's kind of like, you know, something's got to give. So I'm hoping to be able to get back to these soon. And I like having one that's more winter based. He has the Christmas one, but and I don't mind Christmas color by numbers much. I think I've told you guys, like, I really struggle with sorry, I'm trying to zoom this in. I really struggle with like certain colors I think of are Christmas colors, and it's hard for me to break outside of that. So a lot of times I don't mind Christmas color by number, but regular Christmas pictures I just kind of struggle with. But here is finished versions of all the thumbnails. I figured I would show you guys this. Love the cat statue, of course, there. And of course, one of the fun things about wintertime scenes is there is, you know, more white to the page. Now, not necessarily in all his pictures, of course, but on them where there's a fair amount of snow, I do like it's not just white, like there's different shades of like blue and kind of a light purple that you would see like, you know, shading and snow. But it might make his pictures feel a little less daunting. I love that squirrel. And that cat in the cat tree. I love that sunset. And that fire. Yeah, probably in most of his books I wind up coloring the cat pictures first, but there's a few others in here. Like I love this one. It's by the beach. Like I guess that's it, man. When I think of winter and I think of Christmas, like I'd much rather be at the beach. I think that's why I like the Christmas in July pictures so much, with like Santa at the beach and stuff, because like man, if I were Santa, that's totally what I would do 364 days a year. So, this is a Dover book. In their color by number books, they have 46 images instead of their typical 31. This does talk about tips and techniques in the book, an intro, anything that's white is blank. Shade is considered the color number 0. It's like a darker color than the darkest color next to it. I don't know, that's hard to, I'm not explaining that well, so if you want to pause and read that. That will describe it better than I can. So this is a light gray type of line art. Oh boy, those numbers. Oh goodness. So, whoa, that was darkening it too much. Sorry. Give me just a second. There we go. So that's a little better for seeing the lines. But the numbers. Whoo boy, the numbers. This one definitely, if you have sight issues, it is going to be a challenge to see the numbers. Not that they're necessarily super tiny, but they're also this very light gray color. And it's one of those things that like, his numbers are hard enough to see, like this makes it even harder. I would have to color this in a very bright light setting, probably in small quantities with my special like computer type glasses that are kind of like, you know, new age reader, you know, the version of readers but for computer use and like close-up use, because these numbers are I don't even know if I can show you guys these numbers, if you can even see them. They're there. And it's going to be a very pretty picture when it's done, but it is going to take a lot of effort to see these numbers. I don't know for sure. I would have to go digging. But I feel like this is lighter than even in his previous book. And I get the goal. The goal is to try to make the numbers as hard as possible to see in the finished picture. But, you know, dagnabbit, I need to be able to see the pictures, the numbers, to actually color the image. Like, Plus, the lighter line art creates more of that painted look. And again, I'm sure this makes it a lot more visually appealing when it's done, but you know, when it comes to color by numbers, I don't mind sacrificing a little bit of that in order to actually see the numbers and see the detail work. That is one thing. I feel like the numbers in here have just gradually gotten lighter and lighter over time, as has the line art. Like, if you look at it on a scale, and like, I don't feel like that's necessary. So I am a little bit frustrated by this. Like, all these little dots, oh my gosh, all those little dots of snow. I'm hoping they're all just blank, because I think if I tried to tackle this picture, they would just all stay white. Like, I wouldn't even try it. I have a magnifier that I've used on some pages before, like the Disney books and stuff. I do have a magnifier I can use, but it's such a pain to use it. And I've noticed there was the last time I used it on a Disney book, like my eyes hurt for 2 or 3 days after that. And I wasn't even using it for more than a couple hours. So, now this page isn't too bad because the elements are larger. There's not as much detail. But like, there's just... like, if these things get any lighter, if these numbers get any lighter, I might, and y'all know how much I love his books, I might just have to stop buying them. Because as much as I love the pictures, it's just when I'm straining my eyes further and it hurts to work on these, because I have to use like a magnifier and super bright lights and all this different stuff. Like, if it dries out my eyes and causes me pain to color these, then that's, I mean, what's the point of that, right? Like, I love this picture with the squirrel, but... and this one's not too bad. It is larger sized. Like, I'm going to pull out another book and show y'all, because I am a little... I am frustrated by this. I mean, it's still like, unless you're looking really close at this, and I've turned this light down so you can see, like, it's still hard to even see the pictures. Even with the light turned down, like, the line art is so light. I really like... it's such a shame, because I really like these pictures too. I can tell you for sure that the bigger images like this and the cat picture and stuff will be the first pictures I do in this book. I also love this one where they're on the tent and it's from the viewpoint of the tent. I don't know if you remember that from the thumbnails. It's one of the reasons I show you the thumbnails, because it's a whole lot easier to see. Like, it just feels like it's hard to recommend these at this point unless you have like really superior vision. I am dead serious. I will probably usually wait till I finish a picture to write a review, and I mean, I'm going to do so here, but I'm definitely going to leave a review on this one and just comment that, like, this is getting this is sapping the enjoyment out of it for me. I mean, if you're going to go to this point, just take out the numbers. Like, it kind of reminds me of those paint by number canvases you get with the really tiny numbers that just, I have absolutely no patience for. Yeah, I'm going to show you guys real quick because that just really disappoints me. Where is it? I thought I had them all sitting here together, but maybe I didn't. There's the cat's one. Okay, so here's his cat's book, which was published in 2017. Look at the difference. Like, these are, it's not super dark line art. It's still a grayish color, but you can also see the numbers a lot easier. Like, see? Like, I mean, they still take some work, right? Unless you just have really superior vision. But, like, these aren't, this doesn't take away from the picture at all when the line art's like this and when the numbers are like this. In my opinion. Like, yeah, you can see the numbers in a few of these, like if you're looking really hard, but for the most part, it's not taking away from it. Like, I think Spectacular Spring Scenes was pulled as a whip. Yeah, that was the one I was demoing a couple weeks ago. Like, that one too. It's one of my favorites. And it doesn't take away from it at all. So frustrating. So frustrating. I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to send it back because I like the pictures too much and I'm going to try them. But I'm definitely going to say this is probably not going to be a book I work a whole lot in. And if they can, if these numbers, I mean, I'm telling you, if this line art and these numbers get any lighter, they're just going to be white pages at this point. But like, I'm not thrilled with this. And that was one of the charms of his work, was it is detailed and it requires some work, but it was color by number detailed pictures that look just so stunning when they're done, right? Like, I mean, any picture looks great when it's done, but his looked like, you know, paintings almost. And even when the line art was darker and the numbers were darker, you couldn't, and a little larger, you couldn't see them in most of the finished pictures. So like, I thought that was the charm of these books, and now it's like they're just trying to make it so you can't even see the dabbling art at all to color in, much less the numbers. So yeah, I'm pretty pissed about that, but whatever. I spent a lot of time on that one. I'm sorry. All right, 3 Sachin Sachdeva books. Yeah, I was like, I know I keep saying I'm not going to buy one till I finish one of these, but I can't help it because he came out with like three really good ones back to back. So again, I will put the non-color by number versions in the description for these as well. He has the Chibi Halloween and Spooky Characters color by number. This is his latest. I really went Amazon printed. I really went back and forth on this one, whether or not I wanted the color by number or the non-color by number. I was real tempted to go with the non-color by number, but I have a ton of Chibi books that are not color by number, so I need some that I can not have to think about. You've got the numbers on this side. These are really cute. And I really appreciate that he does that he does both versions. And I don't know if I like it well enough. Looks like there's cats in the audience. That's fun. Or maybe, no, they're probably like demons or something, right? Like, because he's probably in a club and like, yeah, okay. I'm like, hey, they're cats. And no, they're probably not cats, Michelle. When were you when Bagheera gets too close to me in the bed and she gets jealous? She has been a mess lately. She's got these toy mice that she runs around with and howls, and this just started like a month ago. She had done it intermittently prior, years prior, but like she's 18, and it's just funny that she, like, in the last month, it's one of her favorite things to do is howl and bat him around. She hid them all over the house one night so that I would have to go searching for them. She quite enjoyed me having to look for them. But she wants me to acknowledge her a lot of times. And she's just, I don't know, she's in a real playful phase. She's in she wants to lay in the bed with me phase. She doesn't want to cuddle with me. She only wants me to pet her a little bit, but like she wants to lay in the bed next to me. And I have to be in the bed with her. Like, she can't go in there by herself. But then she'll abandon me sometimes. So it's like she waits till I go to sleep. She's my nurse, right? I love this owl. Oh, shoot. There's an owl tag this month. And it's not looking like I'm going to get a lot of pictures done. We're already, middle of the month? I might do this one for that. But, so I joke that, like, I have to take naps during my lunches, just because I've had fatigue issues for years. It used to be where I'd only have to take them a couple times a week, and then ever since I got sick, it's been like almost every day. And she will come and remind me around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon that it's time to go lay down. And sometimes she will go in there and she'll wait till I go to sleep, and she'll watch me. Sometimes I'll roll over and I'll look at her and she's just dead ass staring at me. Like, it's kind of creepy. And then she'll wait till I go to sleep and then she'll leave. And it's so funny. I joke she's my little nurse. Anytime I've cried or been upset or been really sick over the years, she always senses it. Will worry over me, will get on me and howl in my face and want to make sure I'm okay. These are so cute. I have his stained glass Halloween book, and like, I feel like this is such a great one for this time of year. Like, if I can finish that one up and then work in this one as well. I really like this one. Stained glass countryside scenes. I genuinely said I wasn't going to buy this one right now until I finished the Halloween one, and my inner you know, people have like the little angel and devils on their shoulder. I feel like I have the two devils on my shoulder. It's like the angel's been kicked off for a while. And one of them is kind of bad, but he worries a lot about it. And he has a lot of guilt about it. And then the other one, like, has zero guilt. So the one on one side's like, well, you have an awful lot of books and you just did a really big purge. And maybe we should wait till you complete some other books to do this. And the other one's like, buy it. And so this time, he won out. And it always, if I'm buying one by the artist, excuse me, it always opens up the door to pick up the other ones I hadn't picked up yet. So I saw that Chibi one, and that got me in there. Second Glass Countryside Scenes. Like, one of them's bad, but he carries a lot of guilt, and the other one has no guilt at all. And y'all are like, man, that sounds like something you should talk about with your therapist. And trust and believe, we are talking about it. I really love this book. I think this is probably one of my favorite stained glass books. I love the stained glass Halloween. I like his wildlife one. And I think this one is going to be... I have a couple others, but I think this one's probably up in my top 3. I love that these do have the frames around them still. It's just a different type. Like a lot of his stained glass, like this middle picture might be kind of simple, but the frame's a little more detailed. And like these, the frames are very simple, and it's the inner picture that's detailed. And I like the variety of that. I think he's pretty mad at the choices here. Like, I'm assuming there's milk in there, and then you got cheese that, of course, uh, okay, he's looking at you and making you question your life choices. Like, ma'am, are you really doing this right in front of me? I realize that's a bull too and not a dairy cow, but he's like, my sisters, my sisters and beef implore you to become a vegetarian. I mean, he's got to worry about himself as well. I don't see a steak on there, but I mean, he's advocating for himself as well. My sisters and beef implore you to stop. He's like, "Oh, you're so weird. Why are you drinking that? Why are you eating that?" Hey, I got problems. I've already seen some completed pictures out of this book, and they look fantastic. So exciting. And like I said, in talking about the George Toufexis book and the ability, if you missed that one, the ability to see numbers when you're coloring in a color by number book, like see numbers in the finished picture versus not. There's a lot of people out there that just don't like seeing the numbers. And they also don't like having colors already picked. So they want to do their own colors. And I think that's cool too. Like a lot of these, I would have seriously considered the non-color by number version. I think all 3 of these books, I would have picked it up if it had been non-color by number and no color by number. But And a lot of times that comes down to why you color. And some people just want to put color on paper and want to have a pretty picture, and maybe they don't, picking color stresses them out. They don't mind seeing the numbers. Like, there's all different ways to color. And I've always said this is a judgment-free zone when it comes to how you like to color. All colorings are beautiful. All coloring books are awesome. So this is Playful Crocodile. Again, color by number. I was sorely tempted to get the non-color by number, but again, I just couldn't resist. There was one, I think I got a Halloween Mandalas book from him. That was one time I got non-color by number, and I'm so used to having his color by number that it stressed me out, and I haven't colored in it very much because I keep forgetting about it. I probably should just buy the color by number version and give away the other one. I think I've done one picture in it. So this one's fun. Very large images, similar to like the Cats book of his that I completed recently. Just this crocodile having a grand old time. Not, this is probably more of a coloring for all ages kind of book. Some days I do need to just smell the flowers. I feel like I need to take some lessons from Mr. Crocodile there. Or Miss Crocodile. Love the little cat ear umbrella. Having trouble flipping. Love this one from the front cover. I think this would be perfect for Pirates for Poet. I have so many other pictures I want to do, but at least some of these pages, these color by number pages would give me... So there's pages I want to do with every fiber of my being that my energy level and my work schedule and everything is just like, nah, sis, ain't gonna happen. And then there's what there's what I dream of in those plans videos. And then there's the reality of the situation. And like, as of right now, I've done maybe 2 pages this month. I mean, I've hardly done any pages. Oh, I love this one. Zombie Crocodile. Perfect for Halloween. So sometimes it's okay to dream, and it's okay to plan like you have all the time and ability in the world. But I also think it's okay to just understand that maybe you're not going to quite get there, and so find some ways to compromise. And this month feels like a month of compromises. And then we've got all his stuff back here. So there we go. I will talk for a few minutes about plans and updates. Where did that other one go? Oh, I already stuck it up there. Okay. So yeah, I know this week was kind of quiet other than these flip through videos. I probably should just do this as a front facing clip, but so y'all could at least see my face other than just staring at the screen like this. But things have been really hard since I got sick. once I recovered from being sick at the beginning of August, I had a little bit of a surge in energy because I was still recovering, but I was still taking time off from work. So, like, what energy I had, I could actually put just to, for the few days I had it, I could actually just put to coloring. So that's why I got so much coloring done last month. And I got all these ideas for like the marker series and knew that watercolor summer was still going on. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to still work on it all. It'll be fine. And I know some of y'all were like, Michelle, like, what are you doing? And I should have known. Had I went back to probably the normal energy level and stuff I had like prior to September 12th of last year. Um, no, if I went back to my normal energy levels and stuff, I might have been able to hack out hack it out pretty well. And then having like the Labor Day weekend, I got a 4-day weekend from work, and so I had a burst of energy then. I've been starting to take prescription vitamin D. I think I mentioned this, and that's been hit or miss with energy. Like the weekend of Labor Day weekend, like I felt really good, and I was like, oh my gosh, this might really truly be the answer to some of my fatigue issues. The next week it felt like it did nothing. This week it's been kind of hit or miss. Tuesday and Wednesday, about halfway through Wednesday, I felt pretty good. Today I haven't felt bad. Yesterday I had to take a day off from work because I felt so bad. Literally, I had a doctor's appointment. It did not go the way I'd hoped. Came home. I had to get up early. Dragged myself out of bed for that. I did that. I come home, I ate breakfast, and then I went right back to bed. And I pretty much stayed in bed through yesterday evening. So, hit or miss. And that's kind of been how things have been going. I've been having a lot of problems with fatigue. I am still having intermittent pain under my right arm in particular, kind of where the lymph node's at, like right in the armpit on the bottom part. And if it aches bad enough, it aches into my upper arm itself. And I can't get anybody to look at it. I can't get anybody to do anything with it. Because sometimes it'll ache so bad, like it even spreads over into my chest and stuff. And like, I've been to the cardiologist and he says my heart's fine. And of course, he doesn't look at lymph nodes or, under your arm. Rheumatologist won't touch it. He acts like he doesn't want it. I'm not going to make him do anything other than just sit in the office and blink at him for 10 minutes. And he can collect his, who knows how much he charges for that. He's not going to actually do any work. So I've given up on him. I'm going to have to find another rheumatologist. The nurse practitioner has been trying. She thought the orthopedic doctor would want to do an MRI. No, he just wants to do physical therapy, which I'm not saying won't be helpful, but I don't think is the core issue, because when that aches, it is like completely paired up with my fatigue levels. Like if it's hurting more, the more tired I am. And it was aching really bad yesterday. So I don't know what's going on, and I'm having a lot of trouble figuring out which doctor I need to go to who will look under my arm in the area it's in. It could be they say my lymph node's not swollen, and I don't think it is, but it's still hurting. And so I don't know who looks at lymph nodes. Of course, there's still breast tissue on the sides like that. I had a mammogram in August. However, I don't know how far it looks on like the sides of your body. So I don't know if it picks up that area. It's a little concerned about that. It's just an unusual pain, and I am very worried about it. The next step is to try to get my And when I do a coloring chat, I'll talk all about this again, but I just kind of wanted to give you guys a heads up on what's going on. But my next step, she thought the orthopedic doctor would do an MRI. He didn't. So I'm going to try to get her to schedule an MRI of that area because I just want to rule out anything weird going on with that lymph node, anything weird going on with any of the tissue in that area. I'm a worrier, I will say that, but I just have this is like another gut feeling that something's not right, and it's in a weird area that nobody seems to want to touch, and because it's not in their area of expertise, and it is extremely frustrating. How many doctors and specialists I've been to in the past month and a half and it's still not going away. And the guy yesterday x-rayed my shoulder. They don't do anything chest related, even though my chest pain is not heart related. So when he's recommending physical therapy 2 days a week for 6 weeks and going back to see, which I'm going to do. If it makes it hurt worse, we're going to stop. But I don't think it would hurt. It would hurt. I don't think it would hurt. And I'm still having weakness in that arm too, more so than I used to, which is also concerning. So, now I've had, like, I know the rheumatologist, if I pressed it, he did what little blood work he felt like he had to do, and he huffed and puffed about it. And even though one of the numbers was off, he said it's fine and just doesn't want to do any follow-up. So again, I don't know who to go to, and I'm kind of at a loss here. If I can get her to do the MRI and the MRI comes back fine, I probably will worry a little less about it being something like big wrong. But just because it's a scan. But any of you that have ever had issues with lymph nodes, who do you go see for that? And anytime I Google lymph node pain and fatigue, I see mono. And they have tested me for mono, and I am negative. I had it. That was the thing that kicked off all this. I'm not saying, what I thought is a possibility I had it again, but they tested it and it says negative. So either the levels aren't high enough to trigger mono diagnosis, like the EBV isn't high enough, but it's still elevated. I don't know because he didn't run that type of test. So anyway, I am, like I said, beyond frustrated. And it is really impacting my ability to work. As I mentioned, I have to take more frequent lunches to take a nap, which is making me have to log in early and log in late just so I make sure I'm not, that I'm getting the same time in as my teammates. We don't typically take lunches every day through the week, which is something it should change really, but I just don't want them to feel like I'm not pulling my own weight. And it's just, I'm having a really hard time keeping up with everything. And so, coloring and even coloring videos have just kind of come to a screeching halt because of that. I'm going to try to do the supply haul this weekend. I really, really wanted to get it out tomorrow, but it's probably going to be Sunday. The coloring tips and demos and watercolor summer demo videos are probably just going to be on hold until I can do them. Even if we get out of watercolor summer this month, I still plan to do watercolor stuff ongoing, so it's not really going to change. We'll just be out of the hashtag is really it. But excuse me, it is super frustrating to me and super disappointing. I feel like I'm letting you guys down. I'm letting myself down because I don't have any energy to do the things I enjoy, and I'm just flat out burnout from work and from being sick. I'm dealing with health issues, and then I'm dealing with burnout, And like I talked with my therapist yesterday, we don't know where one starts and the other and ends, and we don't know where the other one begins. She said, I don't know if you're having health issues and burnout or burnout or whatever. And I'm like, I think it's a little column A and a little column B. And the problem is it's a situation where I could handle one or the other, but it just isn't sustainable when they're together. So I need to get some answers and I need them fairly quickly. So I can at least get this back to a manageable level. So I say all that to say, like I said, boy, that was weird. Like I said, a lot of the demos and stuff are probably just going to have to wait till I feel better. You might get fewer videos from me for the next few weeks. Hopefully I'm not continuing to buy. As you can see, my buying's not as bad as last month. So I'm still keeping within my points, but like I've been keeping up with my planner. But I knew I had a lot of points I built up at the beginning of the month, so I'm still okay. I'm still keeping within that, but I was in tears the other night because I was like, I have all these awesome new books to color in, and I was like, and I had the energy to buy them and look at them, and they're so pretty, and it's like I just absolutely do not have the energy to even color in these books at the end of the day, and it's so upsetting. It's another reason I got the color by numbers. Just this is my energy level right now. Um, so yeah, I'm sorry guys. I started out with great intentions and we've just kind of derailed, and I'm just muddling through as best I can. So, but there's a ton I want to talk about and catch up with you guys. So somewhere I would like to squeeze in a color and chat. If it's doing a Golden Girls picture or doing a page from one of these books, then that's what I'm just going to do. But I do want to do a color and chat and kind of fill you guys in on this and what other stuff's been going on. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. And yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed the flip throughs. Like I said, I will try, if I can get it out tomorrow, great. But at this point, what time is it tonight? Oh yeah, it's probably gonna be Sunday. So, but I have plenty to show y'all. And I guess we'll chat then. So thanks guys for watching, and bye for now.